I read a poem recently, and it really struck a chord with me because it was articulate, and it was difficult, and it was raw, and it was sad, and it was very powerful. And it was an account of the suicide of the poet's nephew and the family's journey to reclaim his body. It's a difficult story, but it's one I think that'll resonate with a lot of people in this audience and at home tonight, full of regrets and all the things that you might associate with this a difficult moment in someone's life. It's called The Mission, and it's from a new collection of poems by my next guest. So would you welcome, please, to talk about that and many other things, Rita Ann Higgins. Well, it was one of those poems that you haven't read in public yet, have you?
I've never read it, no. Never read it.
And it's about your nephew and about that moment.
Yes.
Talk to me about that moment.
I was going for a walk on the prom.
In Galway?
In Galway,
yeah.
as you do.
Yeah.
I never kicked the wall. A
No.
lot of people do. I'm not a wall
Most
kicker.
people do, yeah, but not you.
Not kick the wall. And I break the wall, I don't kick the wall.
Fair enough.
So I met my nephew this day.
Yes.
And I never met him on the prom before. And we were having a chat, you know, great chat actually. He was telling me that he was planning something for his mother's 60th, and then it went on. We were chatting longer and longer and longer. And I thought, maybe I should say to him, will we go and have a cup of coffee? But I didn't, because the prom is, you have a chat and you move on. Yeah. That's what proms are about. That's right. What we do,
yes,
Brian, on the prom.
Yes.
And we don't kick the wall. So John was chatting away there. We had quite a great chat and quite a long chat.
Yes.
And that was the start of something. And then I was at a wedding a month later. I hadn't seen him after that. And I was at a wedding, and two friends of his from the fire station came to called me out of the wedding. And they said to me that whatever the person in charge in Eastbourne was, I can't think of the name of it.
But somebody in authority had
in authority said that that some young people had found a belt and found a wallet, and that John Divney's name was in the wallet. Mm.
And he had, sadly...
He had gone to Beachy Head, and he had taken his life. And I didn't really... I had never heard of Beachy Head, even though I know a lot of people know about it, but I certainly didn't know about it. And I just...
You were confronted with this awful
yeah.
news. And all roads seem to go back to this moment on the prom, and this cup of coffee that never was.
Yes.
And that's what's so striking, because I think a lot of people watching tonight have many moments in their lives with people they love or loved, and so I'll do that eventually, or I'll get there eventually. And of course, we put stuff on hold, don't we?
We do, and we have regrets. But actually, and oddly, I don't regret not saying to John, let's have that coffee.
Okay.
Because I think we can use regrets as a stick to beat ourselves with. Do you know what I mean?
Yes, yeah.
We can be really hard on ourselves, and loss is hard enough. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there's a pecking order with grief, and I'm his aunt. I'm not his mother, I'm not his sister. You know, I'm his aunt. And you have enough to be going on with without that regret stick.
Why don't you take up the poem, The Mission, and give us an extract from it, if you don't mind. It's not something we do an awful lot on the programme, but I think it's nice for a change, to be honest with you.
Okay. You hid your distress well, John. None of it was evident that sunny day, the day of good nephews. A month later, you went to Beachy Head. WTF, John. I think of you, leaving your bundle on top of Beachy Head, your belt coiled around your watch, your firefighter's ID card, your blood donor card, your bus ticket from Brighton. Losers, weepers.
You had to go then, of course, to England.
Yes, we went over, 5 of us, 5 women. You want a job done, you get 5 women to do it.
Okay.
Or you get women to do it, generally speaking.
Yes.
And went with his mother and his sister and 2 cousins. And we went to Eastbourne.
What was that like, heading over? Because you've got the things like airports and
Yeah,
hotels, and it's all wrong. It's not a holiday, it's the opposite of a holiday.
Yeah, it's like there's a beat missing in there somewhere. Yeah. There is a beat gone haywire. And you cope with that thing, and you eat if you can eat, and you take a drink if you can drink, and you do the talking, and you do all the stuff. But there's something wrong with it, and you don't know how quite to explain that wrong bit. But yes. You do it anyway. And we had, we used to burst out laughing, but we wouldn't know why we were laughing, because we'd be laughing and crying and, reminiscing, and then some old stupid thing would come up and we'd laugh at that, and we'd laugh at nothing. Yeah. But it was unknown territory to us, and it was quite spectacular.
In what sense?
In that it was bloody breathtaking. Do you know what I mean? This Eastbourne, these cliffs, which I actually hate, but they were tremendous. They were tremendous, and they were. It was like almost you were on a different planet. Yes. It was so stunning, and it would be like the cliffs of Dover, maybe, because they were white too.
And the suit.
And the suit, yeah.
Tell me about the suit.
We went to the hotel then, of course. We were in the hotel, we wanted to be near the undertakers. Like, who would want to be near an undertaker, for God's sake? But we're in this hotel, and John's mother couldn't sleep, and she was up. We weren't allowed, I don't smoke, but you're not allowed to smoke in the hotel, but she was puffing out the window, and she saw the undertaker come in the morning and collect the suit. Collect John's suit, so that was kind of shite, you know what I mean?
It's kind of shite.
Yeah.
That's the truth. Let's take another excerpt, shall we?
Yeah. We went to Eastbourne to bring you home, your mother to collect a son, Margaret to collect a brother, Caroline and Magella to collect a cousin, me to collect a nephew, 5 women on a mission. Your mother couldn't sleep. She was smoking out the hotel window. She saw the undertaker collect your best suit from reception at 6 a.m.
There's a third excerpt, isn't there?
There is a third.
Why don't you keep going?
We're on the way home
okay,
then.
Talk to me about that. And, yeah. We'll talk about it in a second.
Okay.
Would you like to talk about it first and then read it?
It's Cummalumsa, either or.
We'll read it and we'll talk about it, please.
On the way back, there was a bad storm. We were at the airport for 5 hours. Your mother kept going back out for a smoke. Each time she went out, we worried that she'd never get back in. You were in the hold in your new suit, your designer shirt, your best shoes. We forgot your socks, losers, weepers.
Tell me about that.
We were coming back, and there was a storm, and we had to hang around the airport for hours, and it was another gap in. Like, it wasn't a gap in communication, because the communication was fragmented anyway.
Yes, but it was back to that beat was missing.
It was back to the bloody missing beat. Yeah. And when there's a missing beat, there's something wrong.
Yeah, the universe isn't aligned for you.
And we certainly weren't aligned. But we, so again, it was that thing of the smoking and the half talking, we were laughing so much, but we were joking and things like that. And then 5 hours is a long time, and you want to get home. You want to get this job done.
Yes. Because
this was our mission. We were there to bring John home, and then we eventually did that.
And where are you now with regard to John's story and your grief?
I'm absolutely great. It's only that, looking at, I've never read it before.
Yes.
I guarantee you I will not be reading it again.
Why not?
Well, maybe I would if somebody wanted me to read it at a reading, when I'm reading. I don't know. But I'm very good. I'm very good, and it's John's birthday next week. It would be his birthday and all that, and the poem helped.
Did it? Was it cathartic in that sense?
It was, because people should write about grief too, and you can write it out.
People are quite uncomfortable around grief, aren't they? Or particularly other people's grief. They don't want to get into it.
Yeah. Well, I wanted a chapter about him. I wanted people to know that he was a real person,
Yes,
that he existed, and that I had that moment with him. And that was all I wanted to do, was that the moment on the prom and the awful tragedy, and then the journey back, you know.
Can I ask you about a poem that has nothing to do with what we've been talking about?
Sure can.
Do you mind?
No, I'd love
because
it.
I think that there's a streak of boldness in you.
Oh, that's only a rumour.
Well, it's not, because I've read your poems. It's all true, and it's in writing now. The poem, Guess What?
Yeah.
Who are you looking for?
I was looking for my girls.
They're there, right? Your daughters, they're there. Wave, say hello. Yeah, that's okay, they're there. Can you see them?
Oh, I see
Yeah.
them.
So you're grand now, back in the room.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me wear my... Sorry.
No, hang on. They wouldn't, no, tell me that.
They wouldn't let me wear my jeans and my...
Why not?
Because they said, you're going to be dressed, you're on the Late Show.
You can wear whatever you want.
I know.
Next time,
well, look,
wear the jeans.
There'll be no next time when you get the bill for the minibar, Jennifer. Sorry.
She'd love you for that, that's for sure.
There'll be no next time, right?
Okay.
RTE can't afford us.
Well,
and they want the tickets to the races, and they weren't even in for that bit.
well,
Can you believe it?
I'm sure we can organise something, given that it's your last time on the Late Show.
Yeah, and they don't actually deserve it now for what
Why
they
not?
put me through.
Oh, for
like,
the dress.
I mean,
But do you not feel that you look great?
Actually, to be honest with you, Ryan, nobody could make me do something I didn't want to do.
I gathered that too.
You know what I mean?
So you're not, wasn't a bit of the old rubber arm, was it?
No, it was, well, you know yourself.
Well, I don't, because I don't wear dresses. No, guess what? I got a great kick out of this poem.
Okay, so-
just for the week that's in it. Share it
Okay.
with us, please.
Guess what? And I'll read this to
read
your
it to our
audience.
friends,
now.
yeah.
2 wrongs don't make a right, the politician said. OK, we threw billions at the roads. We meant to throw it at the health service. We did try, and we did throw. But guess what? We did miss.
That's on the money. You're obviously a very highly regarded poet in this country, and yet you didn't see the school system through in a conventional sense. When did you leave school?
I left at 14,
Yes.
but that was kind of commonplace. People
Sure.
did that at the time, you know.
And now you find yourself reading poems in Harvard and Oxford and
all over
do you get a kind of a little kick out of that, or does it matter to you at all?
Well, it was not actually. My invite to Oxford and to Cork Prison came on the same day many years
Which did you
ago.
prefer as a matter of interest?
I did them both. That's the right answer to that
That's a good
question,
answer, yeah, we'll
you know.
take that.
But I did start pretty late, and you know it's okay to start late.
Yes, very much so.
I used to go to the library and read children's books. You know, if I wanted to learn a subject, like when I started to write, there was an awful lot of references to Greek mythology.
Yes.
So I used to go to the children's library and read children's mythology, Shakespeare for children,
Yeah.
Moliere for children.
But they tell it really well for children, and they give you a nice grounding, because there's a lot of
love it.
pretentious sort of
That's
writing
it,
around
yeah.
it. But actually, it's kind of accessible for kids.
And you know, reading is such a privilege.
Yeah.
You know, such a massive privilege. And this new thing, I just read an article very briefly in the Guardian online about a system in England where the doctors are prescribing that young people read these novels. They have them all. They have certain novels that handle Asperger's and
Yeah.
anxiety and self-harm and all that. And that's they're prescribing these novels to young people. It's called the Writing Well.
Makes sense.
Yes, and they work closely with libraries.
Yeah.
So
And of course, really so democratic. I was in my own library recently,
Yeah.
local library recently, and there they all are.
yes, and I
free of
was
charge.
bringing my grandson Oisín to leave back books one day, and he got a letter actually because it was a fine of 7. And he wasn't even 7, and he was very, very pleased that the library was closed. But I wasn't.
No.
You know, like libraries shouldn't be closed.
Well,
libraries should be open.
sometimes they have to go home, but the 7-year-old
Yeah.
with the fine now, that's an issue.
Oh, well, a threatening letter. So.
That's right. It's what they have to do. But listen, it's been lovely to have you on the show
it's been
tonight.
great
I
to-
hope it's not the last time now, despite the jeans and the girls and the mini bar and the dress and everything else. Come and see us again sometime.
I will, and
congratulations on the new book.
Thanks very much, and I'll be at court during the week.
I'm going to mention that now.
Yeah,
sorry.
Oh, I feel
no, it's all right. We have it all under control.
Yeah, no, I'm mortified now because the girls say I'm a control freak.
You're a control freak?
Yeah, that's what they say. They are like it. They say I am.
How many tickets did we offer you in the audience tonight? Was it just the 2?
I think so.
They, for all you're giving out, they came along.
They did.
You love them dearly, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Oh, well, I think
I'll
I
leave
do.
it at that now, Rita Ann. Ladies and gentlemen, Rita Ann.
Thanks very much.
Thank you so much. I enjoyed that tremendously. Tonglish, is that how you pronounce it?
Tonglish.
Tonglish is the name of the book by Rita Ann Higgins. She was reading from their beautiful poem from that. There it is. It's published on April 21st. And you can hear her read at the Court International Festival, as you've been saying, in Galway Town Hall at 6:30 p.m. on Saturday, April 23rd, and at Books Upstairs in Dublin on the 4th of May. So good luck with that. Still to come, music sensation Bry and Supervet Noel Fitzpatrick solves your pet peeves. Stay with us. Back to our
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Derek O'Connor.